it's so different, John, than corporatism. Corporatism is this, 800 footnotes of just, sheer intensity. And then telementation is just this light, spiritual book, which, I go and just read it just because I want to feel uplifted sometimes.
There you go. And it's kind of like this show. Everybody was used to the nuts and bolts part, separate from the beast system, simplify your life, get out of debt, go buy some land, grow your own heirloom vegetables, get some skills to survive some hard time, toughen yourself up mentally, spiritually, and stuff. I would go into this sort of spiritual side once a month and share my experiences, but I couldn't go there too often because the people weren't ready. It's taken a couple of years to get that to happen, and then once I came over to Rinse Radio, it just changed. Everything changed, folks, because the people that listen to Jeff Rinse, the radio legend, they tend to be very wise, intelligent, and open-minded, and that's just real refreshing. Let me slide right into this before you guys accuse me of having you hang on for my take on the New World Order. We all know that the New World Order and the Illuminati behind them, they love to tell and show us the truth about themselves and what they're doing and what they're going to do. They put it right out there. They use symbolism and then movies and all that kind of stuff. They want us to know, folks. Now, one of the things that is so obvious that only the clones haven't picked up by now is the, pyramid and the all-seeing eye on the $1 bill. That's, almost everybody that starts looking into the New World Order, that's basically where they start. They're like, oh, yeah, I kind of always thought that was a little odd, and didn't understand what it all meant and stuff, but, and they just go forward. Well, I was meditating many years ago upon that symbolism, and I had studied it off and on. I had just dozens and dozens of hours and had taken notes and all that up in Montana and about the Freemasons and that dollar bill symbolism and stuff. And I thought I understood it all. And plus I had listened to some great radio by William Cooper. I'm sorry, folks. I really am. We got a break. I swear, I won't stall. As soon as we get back, I'll spill the beans. Hang on. Okay, so the New World Order, I think I really get it. I've been studying up in Montana everything that I can come across and, thinking for myself too, just sitting there thinking about how it's all probably linked together. And then I come across William Cooper on shortwave whenever we could afford, AA batteries. And then when I came here in Kansas, I was sitting and I was meditating upon the whole thing, and I had been looking at the dollar bill. Something just was drawing me into it, folks. And after my meditation, I came out of it, and I it's like so many times, this is what happens when you search for truth, when you seek it, it will come to you readily, and it just opened my eyes. And what I suddenly understood, and I can only share some of it with you, is so obvious that all of you should have seen this. The dollar bill has the pyramid, okay? And it is drawn on the dollar bill in 3 dimensions. It's a 3-dimensional pyramid. And they depict it this way almost everywhere. Now, sure, in symbolism, they do the 2-dimensional version. It's flat. But whenever they can, they like to give you the 3-dimensional version. but they will never, ever show the all-seeing eye in anything but two dimensions. Ever. I've looked at thousands of instances of this. There's a million. But they always do it in two dimensions, and there's another part of this, and that it's always hovering. Now, a lot of people will tell you this is what people just believe because it's what was out there. They say it's hovering because they haven't finished and they haven't put the capstone on because the work is still in progress. I'm telling you, folks, that's not the reason it's hovering. But the reason why it's two-dimensional is because what you're calling the Nephilim and the Illuminati, and I'll go along with that terminology, they are of another dimension, and they are watching us always. Now, I'm also going to tell you that I know for a fact that they are not of a higher dimension. They are of a lower dimension than us. And that's why they work so diligently and so long and so hard to manipulate this dimension. And I believe they do come and go through rituals and blood sacrifices and bloodlines perhaps. But that's what it is. They're telling you the truth right there in plain sight, that they are of another dimension, and they are a lower dimension. That's all that means. So, what thoughts do you have, Jeff?
Well, I wish I would have noticed that. I guess, when you look at something and somebody points it out to you, you're like, oh yeah, why didn't I see that? It's like I didn't notice, but then again I did because I've looked at that thing so much. I'm looking at it right now, a whole bunch of different images.
Yeah.
And you're right, it's the pyramid's all three-dimensional, and then the hovering capstone with the eye in it is just, there's no three-dimensionality.
No.
But as far as how do you think I'll answer your question if you want, but I'm still kind of curious about this. What do you think, if you know, what does the two-dimensionality mean? It just means that it's not in the 3D domain?
Right. That they just like how nearly impossible it is for us to think of just one dimension higher. I mean, we can draw all day stick figures, and that's two dimension. They have height and width, but they don't have depth, right? But we can't hardly conceive anything higher. Now, science is telling us that there are perhaps 11 dimensions, or at least initially there were. Whatever you go to discover that through science. But folks, they're a lower dimension, and it just impedes their ability to be here in our dimension, but they are right here with us. It's just in another dimension. It's kind of think of it like ghosts, in a way. That's a little bit like it.
So you think that do you mean by in a lower dimension, part of it is that they're also lower in intelligence, or not?
Oh, no.
Higher intelligence.
No. Yeah, because they have been there, from ancient days, man. These things are old. They are cunning. Wise. Yeah. That's. It doesn't mean anything like. That they're lesser in intelligence or wisdom or any of that. They are. That's why they're able to pull this off. Think about it. I mean, these puppets. Whether we're talking about George Bush, baby George Bush, or George Bush Sr., or any of them. Come on. They're just guys. They cheated on exams in Harvard and Yale and all that kind of stuff. They're not that much smarter than us. They cannot create this whole